Hi there, I'm Dr. Orton and this is a revision session for semiotics. We'll be looking at the semiotic theories, particularly of Ferdinand de Saussure. The reason semiotics are important is we need to know why there is a difference between this, and that. Do that in the corridor in most Western places and people probably do that back. Do that, you may get a punch in the mouth. Do that, and people give you some very odd looks indeed. Why? Okay, seriously, what is that? Key to this is to think like a 5-year-old. It's a hand and a thumb. It is known as a signifier. A signifier is how part of what we know as the sign is represented. What does that mean to you? Good? Okay? Pretty cool? They are signifieds. They are what the sign as represented by the signifier actually means. However, where else have you also seen something like that? Would you see perhaps your grandmother doing it? Is it something you associate primarily with, say, youth culture? Think of the film Wayne's World. Party time excellent on the posters, yeah? How do we know which of those meanings this particular signifier is suggesting? Well, that depends. You see, between the signifier, how the thing is represented, and what it means, the signified, you have connotations and denotations. Denotations are what is generally accepted to be the primary cultural meaning of the signifier. So, for example, with that, it's generally considered to be good. However, when we consider all the other cultural associations, such as youth culture, happiness, maybe even the idea of thumbing a lift, they are all of the connotations. These are all the different social attributions that can be attached to the signifier. The reason this is important is to try and work out which of these associations are primarily active in the signifier in order to understand what it is attempting to tell the viewer or reader or listener, or indeed, whoever else is witnessing it. To do that, you need to work out what your own cultural assumptions are, what assumptions the piece is assuming that whoever is viewing it has, and what the wider cultural assumptions are. For example, take, say, blonde hair. To some people, it can mean youthfulness, virginity, innocence. A lot of young kids have blonde hair. However, to other people, it can mean very sexy. Particularly if any of you are media students, you may know of the film Gentlemen Prefer Blondes of Marilyn Monroe, the idea that blondes have more fun. Therefore, what you need to do is work out how that blonde hair is used against the other signifiers in whatever you are looking at. Is it the blonde hair of children? Or is there a sexy blonde bombshell in that picture? Once you begin to take all of the different signifiers apart and begin to understand how they are trying to convey their message, how they're trying to connect to other messages within that piece of text, you can then begin to understand what the text is trying to do and why it's trying to do it. One of the best examples of this is the work of most journalists. They try and decode most of these pieces of text. So remember, key terms: signifier, what you can see. It can also be something you can smell, or indeed, something you can hear. The signified there being perhaps shock. The connotation are the kind of cultural smorgasbord of meanings attached to the signifier. And the denotation is the specific primary cultural meaning. These are the semiotic theories of Ferdinand de Saussure. I'm Dr. Orton. Good luck for your exam or your essay, whatever it is you're doing.